We're live, Toast Talk Thursday. Facebook, thank you for joining us. I'm already in the middle of a conversation with our conference line callers and our Tulsa IG as we were just kind of having some prep talk as we have some technical difficulties getting started tonight because we like to start at 8 p.m. Eastern promptly, and we normally do, but again, technical things got in the way, but we figured that out. And I'm going to be talking about, I'm kind of leading into that a little bit, a special topic tonight. So just let me flow. Facebook, just join us, chime in, share, like, comment, let me flow. Live stream, I hope you're locked in. Those on the call, just hear me out for a little bit. I'm going to open up definitely for question and answer tonight. I don't want it to be a super long session, but it may be, but that's not my intention. I want to, I'm still getting adjusted, just back, not even 24 hours from a very long and very impactful trip to Accra, Ghana, in Africa. My first trip back to the homeland, motherland. And so I have a lot to say, but I don't even want to get so much into that. I really want to talk about, and this is what it leads into, and what we're talking about right now on Facebook is I had a brand identity awareness moment, epiphany, revelation, evolution during my trip. It had nothing to do with the continent of Africa, really, in that spiritual experience, which I'll share in a whole different podcast, whole different whatever, video content, audio, whatever. I want to talk about just my spiritual trip to Africa and what that meant to me. I don't want to use this platform for that tonight, but I do want to talk about this brand identity piece of it and where it ties into Tulsa and what I got to say tonight in regards to Tulsa and how it all came about. So, and some of you as entrepreneurs will take some lessons away from this. As our Tulsa Talk audience, you'll find some real value in this as regards to what we're doing with the Tulsa movement and brand. And just for those of you who are supporters of me and our mission and all, you'll hopefully find some value out of this as well. So what I was saying is that during the trip, which was this trip with this amazing list of A-listers, Black Hollywood, celebrities, high-level executives, successful Africans throughout the diaspora, like it was dope, right? And I didn't know, Ernestine and I didn't know it was that kind of trip. We just thought we were going with like 20 people and just having a trip to Africa with a few actor community people and Hollywood community people that, you know, on a small scale. We didn't know it was like, you know what I'm saying, this whole thing. And during that, we just built organic relationships, right? We went out to the club. I mean, we did everything. Like we went to the slave dungeons, to Elamina Castle. We went to the local markets and negotiated deals on clothes, and you know, it's a whole thing. Ate breakfast, lunch and dinner together. Had New Year's together at the president's house. Had breakfast with the president of Ghana. Whole thing. Went to the beach. I was sick for some of these moments. Not sick because of Africa. Sick because of the pills they make you take to go to Africa. So like the malaria pills damn near gave me malaria. But with that, I had this awakening. So I'm like, okay, I'm meeting all these new people, and not everyone, you know, knows who I am and, you know, what I've accomplished, whether it be professionally or even social activism wise, right? So it's like some people know. And there were a lot of people in Africa and Ghana who knew who I was and, you know, showed love and shouted us out and like, oh man, pleasure to meet you, and came to the hotel and all kind of cool stuff. But saying that, there's levels of influence and levels of popularity, right? There's like, I mean, some people that's just household names. You just know what the hell they are. And everybody knows who they are. And so in meeting people and having these organic relationships with them or conversations, it's like, for me to really say who I am and what I do, it's like it's not an elevator pitch. It's like an elevator ride. Like to really talk about, like, you know, who am I? Right? Like what do I do? I can simplify it like, oh yeah, I'm the founder of this, or usually mostly what I said was Tulsa, right? I said I was great, Tulsa Talk. Hey, I represented Tulsa, right? All my businesses, initiatives, whatever it was. You know, I'm the founder, fund manager of the first Black-owned real estate crowd fund. You know, we're investing in real estate assets all throughout the country. You know, we've raised millions of dollars, first to ever do it, et cetera. Doing that, but it still felt incomplete even just talking about Tulsa in regards to it just being like this real estate fund. And that's where I want to get to, right? So I'm going to skip past and I'll come back to my story. So let me get into my message tonight. Right, and then we'll come back to all the long banter and chatter, and I'll open up for question and answers for those who called into the Q&A session. What I realized And my epiphany was, especially in regards to the Tulsa brand, and then I think it ties into my overall brand. So this what happened, Queen Jazz, is that during this whole Africa event called the Full Circle Festival, that's really talking about Pan-Africanism. It's talking about unifying people of African descent, African lineage throughout the diaspora, who are all, those who are descendants of the transatlantic slave trade, etc. So this was this powerful event. I mean, we met with the president of Ghana, with the minister of the diaspora, the minister of education, the minister of economics, the minister of development. I mean, we met with like the who's too. Like we were VIP through the airport. Like, you know what I'm saying? We were like on some, like coming back to America, they want some luxury stuff. We want to come back to Africa, like creme de la creme, right? And so I'm like, I met with the head, the leader, and then the vice deputy of the African Union. The African Union is a representative union of all 55 African countries. I mean, I don't mean just met with like, hey, how you doing? I mean like kicked it and chilled with the head of the African Union that meets with all 55 African countries to make decisions about the whole continent and how the continent deals with the diaspora. And I'm saying all to say, I had these meetings and I mentioned like our dual citizenship. I mentioned a little bit of Tulsa. I mentioned bits and pieces of things that I represent, I guess. Things I represent, or organizations that I'm a part of or lead or whatever. But I never talked about the solution. Like one time in no conversations. And I'm going to say where Tulsa comes into that is that I want to give the history of Tulsa in a second, the roots of Tulsa, and then I want to come into my own brand and what it means to me in the solution and where Tulsa ties into all that as well. And so I just want you guys to hear me out. I'm going to just kind of just dig in, just to say this. So the Tulsa Real Estate Fund was first started, and I don't say this much in interviews, was first started by me doing an Instagram post in 2014 as my brand had got some popularity and influence. And in 2014, I did an Instagram post as we were touring in Cleveland, Ohio, and I said, hey, I'm considering doing some real estate deals here. I'm thinking about taking on some partners, not because I need to, but just because I want to, and to see you want to break bread with me. You must have a minimum of 10K to even be considered. Let's talk about it, DM me. And I sent out a Instagram post just saying, hey, I'm thinking about doing some deals. Who's maybe interested? Let's talk about it. And I got like 88 DMs with people that's like, yo, I got 10K, I got 10K, I got 30 on it, I got 50 on it. And people want to do real estate deals with me. I'm like, oh, snap. So I went and spoke to my attorney, like, yo, how can we pull this off? And they're like, yo, you cannot openly just raise capital. You break blue sky laws. You have to actually have an infrastructure to support that. So I'm like, what's that look like? And that's when we dove in since 2014 to this whole rabbit hole of how do you transparently, in a regulated way, sophisticated way, bring in partners to be able to do real estate deals together, to do more of them together and raise capital and execute that. And that's when I learned about non-accredited versus accredited investors and Reg D funds and Reg A's and the whole Jobs Act, and dove all the way in and then created this vehicle. And I think that part is lost. And what we're doing with the Tulsa Real Estate Fund movement and organization, like, I don't think people really get it. And that's partly to me and all the moving pieces of what goes on with our company, the different layers, Black Wall Street and Buy Back the Block and stop gentrification and this and that third. Everyone's just not getting it. That the simple premise is, I've been very successful in real estate. Real estate is the easiest business that you can pretty much implement in life, in my opinion. Like, it's very simple. It's a tangible asset. It's plenty of inventory. You buy low, sell high. You can evaluate your deals. You can mitigate your risk. You can use leverage, right? All these things. So I'm just like, yo, I'm making real estate moves. If you want to be a partner with me and my company making these real estate moves, hey, you can invest in my company. We created the company in a way where you could buy shares in it for $500 to own your interest in my company that's buying real estate assets or lending on real estate assets or investing in real estate assets. You get an 8% return on your money, which beats probably where your money currently is at and wherever it's parked at right now. And I'll give you 50% of the profits that we make off the real estate that we do. And I'm Mr. Real Estate. I got the juice. I got influence. I know how to find the deals, know how to evaluate the deals, know how to execute the deals. Let's break bread together. That's Tulsa Fund. It's mad simple. Like, you got money parked somewhere, come invest with me. I'll give you 8% preferred returns. and not invest with me, come partner with me, and I'll give you 50% of the profits we create off real estate deals where me as a national influencer in the real estate industry, I get the pick of the litter of great deals. Like, which I'll tie into how we closed 2 deals while I was actually in Africa. We still acquired 2 more properties before the end of 2018. Both, one at 33% ROI projected, and the other projected 19% ROI in less than 6 months, 44% IRR. And I'm just saying that that was the premise of Tulsa. Just simply put, it was just, yo, y'all, I'm about to go buy this over here. I got the opportunity to invest in some real estate over here. This is how it makes sense. You can get 8% on your money plus 50% of the profits I make. What's up? Let's go in. That was phase 1 of Tulsa. Phase 2 of Tulsa, though, became this other part as I become. So 2014, I was economically woke. Or economically woke. As I evolved, after I talk about my book, The Solution, when I met Alpha Wright's sister, Anelia Wright, who called me today, I gotta call her back. Anelia Wright, and found out that Alfred Wright was lynched in Hempfield, Texas. And I went out to support his family, and for the first time was open to our social and political issues. That's when I became fully woke, right? And more culturally woke. And for those who know what woke is, I mean understanding the condition of truly understanding the roots, the history, the causes, the effects of the oppression of my people and the condition of my people, and what we need to do to solve it and combat it, and all that what really goes on, right? And knowing it for myself and not because someone told me, because I did my own research. Like I actually read and studied, right? And so from that time with the Alpha Wright piece, I then, as many of you know, maybe some of you don't know, I led a 1,000-person protest from North and Penn in Baltimore when Freddie Gray was murdered down to City Hall and made national news on CNN and all that kind of stuff, and did that as an activist, right? So my first activism was Alpha Wright in Hempfield, Texas. My second was Freddie Gray in Baltimore, Maryland, right? Where I was on Wolf Blitzer, on Anderson Cooper, on Chris Cuomo, like on all these talk shows. And not just on the talk shows, I was on boots on the ground by myself, no organization, with a red megaphone, and just led a rally in a whole march of 1,000 people down to City Hall, like shutting down streets. That was my second act of activism. Then my third aggressive act was when I think it was Otis Bird was lynched in Mississippi. I went down there again and did some more stuff for Alpha Wright, still continuing on that. And then I was a part of the Alton Sterling protest in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And that's where one of our protest members, Aisha, had the viral photo with the sundress on when the cops with the riot gear were coming to arrest her. That was a part of our movement then. I did a bus trip from Atlanta to Baton Rouge to support Alton Sterling. So I'm saying that's my activist side. Like that's me, like CEO hat off, all that. That's me doing something about the oppression and issues in my community. And I've been a part of multiple other protests, including our own shutdown, national shutdown of a Houston's restaurant chain and a Houston's here on Lennox Road in Atlanta, where my staff and I and my wife were discriminated against, and we led a national protest with T.I. and shut down Houston's. We led a national boycott, as well as supporting Shakisha Clemens, as well as supporting with the Waffle House boycott, as well as supporting Colin Kaepernick and the NFL boycott. Like I've been active. And so the second phase of Tulsa, the first phase was just me as an economic guy, as a real estate guy, saying, hey, get down with me. We can invest in some real estate together. Great returns, profit splits. I can't say great returns as a fund manager now. Well, so I'm going to say, you know, moderate returns, reasonable returns, right? That's the language. So cool. That was the first phase. The second phase was after I became socially woke. So when we see like the queen recently who got the one I posted yesterday, Yasmin James, I believe her name is, who got grabbed up in a McDonald's and fought this guy off, right? Or any other injustice, the NFL injustice, just the Starbucks injustice, like any oppression, discrimination, whatever. And then we always say, we need to go buy our own. We need to go pull our dollars together. We need to use our economic resources and revert them over here. We need to boycott Christmas and go do this, right? So I heard all those cries as a social activist and was like, that real estate play, I know how to raise money in real estate. That could be used to be able to raise money as a community to control our own dollars. let's do that. And so that's where Tulsa became like this merge of a real estate company and a socio-economic empowerment company. But my point is, Tulsa Real Estate Fund is not just a real estate fund. It was, as I said in the solution book, it's just a beta test for how we can, for my community from a social activist standpoint, how we could use an investment vehicle to pull our dollars together to go make social economic impact and change, and do it in a strong, strategic, and transparent and regulated way. Like, so I just use my real estate prowess to build a vehicle in an organization that really is about the infrastructure, because it's not just a real estate fund. It could be a health and wellness fund. It could be an educational fund. It could be a civil defense fund. It could be a entertainment fund. So it was never just about the real estate piece of it for me. It was about creating the economic institution or some kind of infrastructure that allows us to pull our dollars together. Like, that was the whole point. And I think everybody even like misses that piece. It's like people get so caught up on the fund side and not understanding that the fund is proving the unity side. One is proving unity and it's proving infrastructure and operations. And so anyway, that was like my whole epiphany coming into the new year. And looking at my brand was like, even myself, I've been talking about the fund from a perspective of like, just as a traditional fund manager in some cases, or whatever it is, and not really making the messaging clear about like what I'm about. And what I'm about is what I believe in, and it's not about my book. I just put it in a book so it's memorialized. But what I believe in is a solution for Africans in America, how we achieve unity, justice, and repair. I believe what I wrote in this book. And if you read this book, you'll see that there's 3 critical things in here. One is I believe in the unity of my people, the unity of African people in America and African people throughout the whole diaspora. And so I believe there's a way to organize our unity. And I think that, like, literally organize and legitimize our unity, right? So I wrote about that. But I guess just being a businessman and being so caught up in running multiple companies and leading my organization, I forget about my solution faith. Like, this is my faith. Like, my faith, I have faith in God and spirituality. I don't have religion. But if I had a religion, it would be this. My religion is this. My religion is the solution, which boils down to legitimizing and unifying our people, which is our economic power through economic education and stimulation. So the education piece, I believe, has to happen through curriculums, which is why our Jay Morrison Academy creates curriculums to educate us on our RBCs, real estate, business, and credit. And I believe that we economically stimulate ourselves through economic unification, and that's pulling our dollars together, which is why we did Tulsa. And so, and then I believe in our social elevation, right, through to combat our social degradation, which is about basically just speaking life into people and speaking love into people and uplifting people and socially uplifting and not doing things that we're brainwashed to do that socially degrade us. It's just stripping away those mental chains and socially just elevating each other. And I live by that, daily as often as possible. And so I guess that's like, I still haven't figured it all the way out, but my point is Tulsa is just a part of my faith. Tulsa is a part of a solution, and it's a great business model for this initial fund is a great business model for us owning, controlling, investing in, and supporting others in regards to real estate aspirations and real estate acquisitions and real estate ownership. So Tulsa is about real estate, the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, but the root of it is about, one, us doing business together, and then us showing how effective we can be when we pull our dollars from other corporations and organizations and put our dollars in a pot together that we all own. And I do understand that it creeps people out that there's like somebody in charge and manages the fund, a fund that many people are owners in and that have invested in. And so that's where I also had an epiphany, like, where I want to be very clear and I don't want to run from that. It's like, I think that's where there's been some lines of separation. And it's just, for me, I'm just raising my hand and saying, look, I believe in the solution. The only way to have the solution for economic empowerment, economic unity, economic power is for us to pull our dollars together. In order for us to pull our dollars together, somebody has to organize it. Somebody has to manage it. Somebody has to take on that responsibility, that risk. I'm saying if I'm willing to risk my freedom in Baltimore face to face with cops, with Coast Guards and military with machine guns during a Freddie Gray protest, or in Baton Rouge with snipers on the roof, literally. I'm protesting when there's snipers in the roof. I'm protesting. If I'm willing to risk my freedom and my life on the front line in that capacity, I'm willing to take the reputational risk as a fund manager of being responsible for what happens with this fund in everyone's capital, in every investment, and every return on investment. That's it. If it's not me, then somebody has to, and they can do that too and take those risks, but nobody wants to. And nobody has. So it's not about like a fund that's, hey, Jay Morrison, the fund manager, or his team getting rich and getting paid, or like making it this like other kind of real estate thing. It's no, we haven't had a institution managed, run, owned by us with dollar shares pulled together to contribute towards our advancement and our upliftment and our economic power. And we constantly complain and protest and don't have institutions, and your brother created one and built a team around them to support me in creating something for us to be able to have the economic power we say we want and we deserve. It could have been Minister Farrakhan. It could have been Brother Ben. It could have been anybody. It could have been like anybody, leader, organizer, activist, businessman, or whatever could have done it and still can do it, but it wasn't them, it was us, it was me. And it wasn't for the sake of just real estate and business. It was saying, hey, I'll lend one of my business concepts and one of my business ideas to our community. I could have just did a real estate fund on some just corporate real estate guy and honestly raised a lot more capital and had way less pushback. But the point of the fund was to lend a business infrastructure and a business concept that I knew made sense and knew would work, to lend that idea and concept to my community at large and socially responsible investors to say, hey, let's pull our dollars together, let's have economic power together. And let's go invest in real estate together, or invest in people's ideas together, or acquire land together and then build on that land and trust me to be able to manage that process and do it diligently and efficiently. Or keep your money where it's at and keep blogging and hashtagging and complaining. So I'm saying all that to say is like that was like the whole greater purpose of Tulsa, and like that's the whole roots of it. And that's just what the real message is. It's like there's no reason why we got to do 12-day TREF campaigns and this or that campaign in regards to raising capital or explaining to people why the need to raise capital and all that is really not even a need. Honestly, at the root of it, it's like, are y'all tired of complaining about your oppression? Are you tired of complaining about being economically exploited? Are you tired of complaining about being a consumer? Are you tired of complaining about them and the man and the system and how all the power is out of your control? Or do you want to put your power in your control and put your dollars where your mouth is and pull our dollars together and go do something effectively together in a way that's transparent, that's regulated? We do weekly talks, weekly calls, that you have someone who's been integrous, who's put their life on the line for the advancement and the solution for our community, etc. And so I'm just saying, like, that's the risk that I take. Like, if everything goes good, great. Hopefully that'll help further solidify me in the history books. If things don't go bad or things don't go well, then that puts me in a different position in the history books, right? And so it's like, as the fund manager, as a CEO, and I talk about this with my wife all the time because I truly appreciate her and the entire team. There's a whole team of folks that obviously support and guide and advise and do everything to help this machine move. But I also understand that the responsibility and the risk falls on me primarily and first and foremost. So, you know, if things don't go well, you know, you guys might be mad at Tulsa in general, and you might look at Avery with a side eye, but it's not him that you're going to, you know, like, just the reality of it. But I'm saying that someone has to be that steward and the fiduciary for the community. It has to be someone. And so I thought about it like, you know what? I'm going to talk to the team. I'm going to work on maybe a board of trustees. Maybe that will help. Having some kind of board of trustees so you don't feel like all the integrity is based on me or whatever. But the point is, the fund was given, was lent. It was offered as 1/3 of the solution. And not just the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, this particular LLC, this particular company, this particular organization, but the fund model. The business model of the fund was lent to say, you know what, if we can do this right, we get this fund right, then we can do funds for everything and control our dollars like this. It's the beta test to prove to us how we can pull our dollars together and make it work systematically and smoothly and transparently and in a way that works. That's the whole point of the fund. We're thinking so small about it. And I just never think small. I'm a big picture thinker, man. I'm thinking about the whole pie. It's like, if this fund works, which it will work, what can we then do? Now what's stopping us? And so I'm not going to dive in too much to the two recent acquisitions. We invested in 2 new opportunities before the new year. I have some great opportunities still in the pipeline. We do. We've been underwriting over $300 million of deals, although we don't market it that way. You guys don't see it on our Instagram. You don't see it on our website. But behind the scenes, we're doing a lot of work. And a lot of that's because we have to have some level of privacy because we just don't want infiltration and people to ruin and sabotage our partnerships and our deals and our opportunities. But you'll see more and more deals and acquisitions and investments being announced. We have a really good strategic play for 2019. But at the end of the day, all I'm saying is 2 ways. I'm saying to my real estate lovers, hey, come invest with me. To all my real estate lovers, come partner with me. I got real estate deals on the way, some of the best opportunities in the country. And if you got a deal yourself, I'll even invest in your deal through this fund. Come work with us and invest as little as $500. You'll get 8% on your money, which is better than where it's currently at. And you'll get 50% of the profits created from the deals in a whole portfolio. It's simple. For my socially conscious, socially woke, those who want to see a better urban community, those who want to see the wealth be controlled by the people, for the people to take the power in their own hands, I'm saying to y'all who believe in the power of the people, hey, we created a fund for the people. It's called Tulsa Real Estate Fund, the People's Fund. Come partner with us. All you have to part with is minimum $500 up to $50 million, whatever part you're comfortable with. But come partner with us in this fund. Get 8% on your money, which is more than where it's currently at. Own some real estate in our whole portfolio, commercial deals, residential deals, mixed-use deals, right? As we support urban developers and investors, and get 50% of the profits, get ownership and equity in the company, and have social impact. But put your money to use with the people. Stop relying on the government. Stop relying on them. Let's come control our own destiny in a transparent, regulated fund together. That's what I'm saying to you all who are so woke. Like, let's pull our power together. I'm not going nowhere. It's so far, I was talking to somebody that's like, well, you know what's good? You ain't run off yet. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what am I going to do? Like, y'all really think I want to be the person who's just going to raise 10, 15, 30, 50 million, I'll go $500 million and I'm going to disappear. It's going to be, well, Jay Morrison's on the move. Like, y'all think, well, I'm just packing my family up. Like, come on, guys, let's go. Get in the boats. Like, this is what you think of me? Like, what you think of our people? Like, someone literally said that. Like, hey, like, wow. Like, like that's gonna be my legacy. Like I'm just that. I don't even know what person is that. Like that.
So seditious.
I don't know what seditious means, but yeah, that whatever, any of that. Like just that idiotic. Like I can go down in history as a hero, but I'm gonna opt out for the for the supervillain. Right. Golly dang. So I'm done talking, man. I just wanted to share that, and with you all, the team here. So it was just a revelation for me. My point being is that that's my mission. Like, that's my believing. Like, that's So it's like, and I thought about my book, and that's why I said it the way I said it. It's not about my book. It's about, I believe in a solution. I just put the solution in the book. So it's like my faith is in, like, I'm a solution believer. I'm a solution subscriber. The solution is in organizing our unity, organizing our dollars, and organizing our education through curriculums.
But
what, Queen Jazz?
When we were putting the book together, you called it almost a Bible. You said this is our Bible. Right. And that's why the cover is the way it looks and everything.
Correct.
Because it's kind of like the roadmap for.
And I haven't, and I guess I put the roadmap down. Yeah. Right? And so it's like, I still live out the solution. I still live out everything that's in here, but I don't talk about the ideology of it. Exactly. Right, the faith, like why I move how I move, why I talk how I talk, all when I say kings and queens, like why I love how I love and live how I live, and why Tulsa, why JMA, why curriculum, why repair, why the African American repair curriculum, why all the things I'm doing, they're all to walk out this roadmap, right, to drive home this roadmap of unity, justice, and repair. It's all about taking our destiny in our own hands. Stop complaining about the problem when there is a solution. Stop complaining about the problem. Be a part of the solution. And that's what I'm saying I did not get across during my Africa trip to all those wonderful people I was in front of. Like, none of them even know that, hey, you know what, guys? I have a solution for our people. A 3-part solution. Let me tell you to you real quick. And I'll send you the book. And so I think that's a big piece. I think we need to offer this ebook online again so people can download this for free and really be able to read what it is. And I think and we have to, especially just me, I gotta just like, that's who I am. That's what my whole thing is. It's like, all of it's really about, it's just about that. Like, that's what I'm doing. It's just unity, justice, and repair. Yeah. Whether it's how to beat the trap, whether it's anything that I do, it's all in repair. It's repairing people, it's unifying my people, and it's getting justice by taking our own destiny to our own hands, controlling our own power. And I don't get that across well enough. And that was inspired by, the trip to Africa and seeing all the power that we have in our homeland, on our motherland, and how there is there is still colonization there and other oppressions, but there is no they like it is here. Yeah. There is no system. You're not getting pulled over in Africa because you're black. Right. Not in Ghana anyway. Mm-hmm. There is no. And so it feels totally different. You're not getting discriminated against in Africa or in Accra because you're black. Mm-hmm. You go to any 5-star restaurant, hotel, dining institution, spa, wherever you go in Africa, you're not getting sent out because you're black. It's a fact. And that part is a whole sense of relief. And all the real estate, majority of the businesses are all black owned and black run. I'm saying for us as Africans here in America, we don't have control of our space, of our institutions, of our economy here in America. And a way that we do so is through institutions, organizations, through companies that can facilitate that kind of economic unification and stimulation. And that's what Tulsa is, right? And so that's the root of Tulsa Talk. Thank you guys for listening to all that. We'll open up for some question and answers tonight. Hey, if I get a water, please, Kings. And we'll take some Q&A from live stream, Instagram Live, Facebook Live, or from our callers. We'll start with our callers. If anybody's in the queue, press *6 to get in the queue. We'll open up the call lines, and hopefully our audio is not jacked up. But I hear echo coming. Hello, hello. Hello. Yes, sir. Hello? 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 Hold on one second. I think you're on mute. Hold on. He's not. Oh, you're not on mute. Can you hear me now?
Is it coming through?
I hear you a little bit. Keep saying something. Say something.
Yo.
Yo. I hear you. You hear me? Can you hear me?
Hey, that's what's going on. What's up, Jay?
How are you?
Oh, I'm good, man. Bless. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. You keep talking, we're going to get that echo off from you. There's a little bit of echo, but what's your question tonight?
All right, man. I'm a 21-year-old, 3-year videographer, and I'm just trying to see how strong your media game going. Because, you know, I live in Atlanta, I reside in the area. I've been to the new building. It's beautiful. Black White House, well, the Black House, excuse me. Basically, my question is, how, like I said, how strong is your media game? Because, hey, look, we coming. I got a crew, and we ready to run.
Well, I'll tell you this. Our media game is quite strong, but we are always looking to expand our media and content opportunities. However, I will forewarn you that we run a tight ship, and I know that many people are good at film and editing and creatives, but when they get into a corporate structured environment, they crack because they're not used to that kind of structure. So we make sure everything is run top notch, and it's just not swaggy media, but it has to run within the corporation. And I would love to see what you and your team have to offer.
How can we set something up?
Email info, I-N-F-O, at tulsa-real-estate-fund.com and just put in the subject line, media team request, and leave your contact info. You can leave your reel or any other resume or bio info on yourself and your company, and I'll have one of our team members reach out.
Okay, you can run that email one more time?
Yes, sir. Info, I-N-F-O, at tulsa-real-estate-fund.com.
Okay, cool.
And we love...
Keep it up, man, for real. I'm backed by social media. I'm backed by black activists myself. My grandfather was the first African-American state trooper of Louisiana. Opened a lot of doors for a lot of people. So I salute to your movement, man. Keep it going. Hopefully we can link up.
Thank you so much. Yeah, send that email. Appreciate you, King. And let's keep building and growing. Happy New Year.
Let's do it. Happy New Year, man.
All right. Next question. And we go on social media as well. IG Live, Facebook Live. You guys throw your questions in there, and we'll take some callers.
We had someone ask, do you speak at high schools?
I do speak at high schools. You can request me for any high school engagements, booking, B-O-O-K-I-N-G, at jay-morrison.net. Or our new website, which is dropping, booking, B-O-O-K-I-N-G, at mrjay-morrison.com.
There's a caller.
Hello?
Yes. What's up, King? Peace, King. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. My name is Malik Potter. I'm from Pittsburgh. I'm working in a lot of the real estate industry. I own a title insurance company. I work with my mom who owns a real estate company.
Nice.
I wanted to see what your take on what the opportunity funds and zones was.
Great question.
Heard.
Yes, sir. Yep. I'm very familiar and up on opportunity zones. We plan to take advantage of the opportunity zones more and more as a fund and organization. Our first acquisition, the Legacy Center in East Point, actually sits in an opportunity zone track. And I want to encourage all of our viewers and callers to read up on your own on opportunity zones. But what it is a legislation, an IRS or tax designation and legislation that allows you to roll your capital gains tax over into opportunity zone businesses or areas and receive tax credits and tax benefits from a discount standpoint for your first 5 years and your next 7 years, up to 15% tax discount on your actual capital gain. So how much the government would see you as having taxable income. You can discount that by up to 15%. And it allows you to make profits on investing those capital gains after 10 years, make totally tax deferred profits on your capital gain investments as long as it's into qualified opportunity zones or qualified opportunity zone businesses or funds. So we are going to be fully taking advantage of that as a fund. And so you'll hear more and more about it over the next coming weeks and months.
Excellent. Now, I did want to follow up on that question. I wanted to get that email again. I wanted to speak with somebody, obviously like yourself, who understands the business and has the same type of goals and ideals in the community about setting one up.
Okay.
So,
cool. Yes, sir.
So if you ever have time, or I can reach out, and I do frequent Atlanta. I'm in Georgia a lot, so I would definitely want to reach out and connect with you on that.
Yes, if you could email info at tulsa-real-estate-fund.com and just put opportunity zone request in there and subject line, and I'll have a team member reach out and we'll look to see if there's ways you can work with us in some upcoming projects that we're looking at in that space, or if we can coach you on doing your own. We can talk about those opportunities as well.
I have about 6 people under the age of 30 looking to work on it.
What do you say?
I have about 6 gentlemen under the age of 30. We're all looking to work on it and start something great for our city, our area.
Wonderful. Are you a Tulsa Real Estate Fund partner?
I am not. I'm just looking to get in the fund. I am looking to become an investor as well. So that's definitely something I'm going to. When I heard you say I work deals with you and work deals on your end too, I definitely want to get into that with you.
All right, wonderful. We'd love to have you on that side, but we want you, and that's my challenge to you. You're running a hopefully successful title company and in real estate and looking to make these big moves. We all have the responsibility when we have an opportunity to pull our dollars together to make whatever investment we can into contributing towards controlling our power. So it doesn't mean that you got to put, obviously, all your investment capital. You got other projects, other businesses. But I'm sure between you and those other 6 gentlemen under 30 looking to bust big moves, you guys got $1,000, $2,500, $1,500, $500 to invest and pull our dollars together to support us proving this concept of unified economics.
Definitely, we can definitely do that. I'll talk to you all about that through the email.
Yeah. And that comment is not just, I mean, it is for you directly, 'cause I'm speaking to you, but I'm saying that's the mode I'm in for everybody, for real. It's like we can't talk about group economics and then we sitting back on the sideline when the play is, yo, we can invest together for as little as $500. But when you talking about they want to do a Trump wall and they can raise $17 million or however much from a GoFundMe with no returns. They can raise more for a wall, keep people out with no returns than we can on something that's offering quadruple your bank returns. It's gonna be, so we gotta be intentional,
Yep, with purpose. I love it, Jake.
I love it, King. Yeah, peace.
All right.
I have one question on Facebook.
We got a Facebook question. Yep.
It says, "Are you familiar with the historic 18th and Vine district in Kansas City?"
I am not. Somebody asked me, I'm familiar with the 18th and Vine, historic 18th and Vine district in Kansas City.
It says, if
Don't know.
Would love for TREF to look into preserving the area. It's a very profoundly black historical area.
All right. So my fire back to you, Facebook contributor, is you need to reach out to what local developers or investors are doing projects there or looking to do work there, and have them link up with Tulsa Fund, support them as a capital partner, right? So that's the goal of the fund, is to be the capital bank for community real estate investments. And I say that bank word with quotes, but you understand what I'm trying to say, to be a capital funding source for our community. So we can't go into every community and save it per se, but we can be a financial resource to allow us all to save ourselves.
Grind_legacy says, what advice would you give a person who is new to this area that has a lot to offer but wants to learn more about investing in real estate?
begin your educational journey, you know, in the RBCs, real estate, business, and credit. And obviously we offer a resource for that in the Jay Morrison Academy. That's Jay Morrison, Jay, morrisonacademy.com, where you can learn about how real estate investing works. I mean, A through Z. You can learn it in our beginners program, all the way up to our CEO's advanced program, or our 12-step real estate program. The link's in my Instagram bio for our new 12-step program. Give you a 12-step crash course to understanding real estate entrepreneurship. That simple. Begin your journey. Call the caller. I'm gonna just take 3 more and I'm done.
I made it on the line.
You made it.
Jay, what's up? What's up, King? This is Benedict.
Oh, peace. Check you out. Okay.
Yo, man, I just want to always say, my brother, man, you always inspired me, man. I felt like I was in Africa, man.
You was in Africa. When if I'm there, you there. Speak up a little bit, Ben.
You know it.
Speak up some.
You know it. Yo, I just said you know it, man. I was just listening to the jewels you was dropping, brother. You know, iron sharpen iron, man. You inspired me always.
Nah, appreciate you, King. And all that you're doing in the Newark, New Jersey community. You got it on fire. You got the real estate community and business community on fire, and continuing to unify people of all walks of life. I think that's an amazing thing.
Definitely. Thank you, my brother.
I definitely got stories for you, man. The motherland was wonderful. Long flight, long trip. Well worth it, though. Great experience.
But you, and that's what one of the things I admire about you. I think just that voyage, people leaving their comfort zone is what sets you apart. Like, you're never afraid to fly, boy. Like, you just keep going, King. And that's just what it is.
Thank you so much, King. Appreciate you.
Peace.
Peace. I think I'm gonna take one more as we wrap up tonight. How you doing?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hey, what's up, Jay?
Hey, peace, King.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, man, my name is James Patterson. I'm from Baltimore, Maryland. So, man, my question tonight is, you know, take a page out of your book. First off all, I'm a part of a collective called Pipe Dreams in the city. We're a store, and we're trying to create a co-working space, and we're also an art gallery.
Okay.
So what we do is we literally connect the streets to the art world. And we make peace, man. We do a lot of projects in the community, everything. But we're in a building that we're located in right now on 407 North Charles. The owner is trying to actually sell the building, but we're working out a deal with him to own and lease it. So he's allowing us to come up with 10% of the money for the building. So now we took a page out of your book, pretty much, and tried to do a crowdfund. Never done it before, mind you. Don't know too much about it. We're doing a lot of research, but no one's really, giving like a helping hand to, get some direction with it. But I wanted to know, because we want to be very strategic and intentional in the process. What tips that you may have that you could provide us with? What ideas you could give us to work off of? Just any information, man, will be greatly appreciated. We've been pushed out of a building before, and we're definitely not trying to have it happen again.
Gotcha. And what's this 10% look like in dollar amount?
Talking 100,000.
Gotcha. So, one, there's a couple layers to it, but I want to give you the best advice I can give you. So,
okay, I'm ready to write down.
Yep. So, as you even approach acquiring this building, how do you know this building is worth $1 million?
Well, in the building, the bottom is a storefront, like I said, which we operate out of. Then above the building, there are 8 units, some which are inhabited at the moment.
No, I'm not asking you for a building description. I'm saying, how do you know the building is worth $1 million? you're making efforts to raise $100,000 as a 10% down payment on $1 million on a contract on a building, but how do you even know the building is even worth the $1 million you're running around to go raise?
Well, really, we're just going off of numbers from the buildings that are around us, the properties that are in close proximity to us.
Right. So those numbers tell you what?
That's just a range. To be totally honest, we don't know for definite, but that's just a range we've been getting just from the research that we've been trying to put together.
Do you have a real estate? Do you have a real estate professional working with you?
No, we do not.
That's your first thing, King. You gotta, and this is something that we teach in the Jay Morrison Academy. You guys should look on. I can't think of like what we have right now that you could look at, but I would honestly, have you all, however many people in your group, I would have you guys invest in taking my 12-step crash course. It's about 6.5 hours long. And
we definitely just registered for your the beginner's course with the credit mastery and the fundamentals of real estate.
Perfect.
So we definitely
all right. So go through that.
Get some info.
Yeah, go through the fundamental. Good. I'm glad you guys are doing your own due diligence. Go through that fundamentals of real estate, and the first thing you want to do is, because you're talking about acquiring a building, you want to put the right team around you, so you are being able to assess that building and get the proper comps for that building the right way. So you don't want to get into the real estate business unless you fully understand the real estate business. You'll get yourself raising capital, doing a crowdfunding, doing all these things for a contract that could be a bad contract, and now that makes you a bad steward of people's money. And if that goes bad, you now took your one shot and lost it. So you want to be very knowledgeable, or just at least foundationally equipped to be able to make that kind of transaction. And so that's what I'm saying. One of the things you should do in doing that is to make sure you have a reputable and efficient realtor or real estate agent in the commercial space with a commercial experience working with you, or local real estate mentor working with you, so you can understand your different financing options, your different comps and evaluations of the property. You want the right real estate attorney working with you. You should not be negotiating a contract without a real estate attorney, real estate professionals, and the team members that you're going to learn in the Jay Morrison Academy that you're going to need on your side. You don't want to get into business without a business and without the right business advisors. It's not going to go well. So that's the first thing I would do. Start there.
Okay. Is there anyone you would recommend, or you think that would be closer?
I don't have there's a few people I know in Baltimore. Who's a good? Let me see something. My first step, though, if you find a good real estate agent, that'd be one of my first steps, is finding a good real estate agent, because they can point you in the direction of most of the other members you're going to need. I just put it in my phone and nobody popped up. There's some people I know I knew, but I can't. Maybe let me see if Kia. No. But I would just start with doing your own research, but looking at commercial real estate agents, or even a residential real estate agent that has significant commercial experience or understanding. I would start doing that research, finding that person, and then having them help you analyze and evaluate that deal.
Okay.
All right, so start there, Ken.
All right.
Yep.
I appreciate it, man. You ain't asked me, but it's been TREF since day one. You can pull my sheet.
Okay, I didn't want to put you on the spot. You know what I mean? I felt bad. I had to, go in the lesson mode with you.
I appreciate all the constructive criticism, man. Definitely appreciate your time.
Absolutely. TREF life, man. Thank you for being a partner.
No problem, man. Thank you.
I love. So we gonna wrap up with that for tonight. I feel my voice getting stretched. But thank you guys for listening in, though, for another Tulsa Talk Thursday, the first Tulsa Talk of the new year, 2019. New year, new energy, new year, new legacy. And I just think that, you know, everything I said tonight, it's like we got 100,000 followers on Instagram, but we got 12,000 investors. And to me, it's like, nah, that's sad. That's the reality. Like, we talk that talk about group economics, talk that talk about pulling our dollars together. We get pissed off when something happens and somebody does this and that, and oh man, we got to control this, and oh, we need to own our own this, and we got to own our own that, and we got a vehicle to do it, and then we front. Look, that's the reality. Like, I'm like, and I've been kind of like bashful about talking that direct because it's like, oh, well, I get it. People might be scared of it. Listen, nah, we fronting. Like, it is what it is. Y'all asked for it. People asked for it. I saw it. I've been a part of the protest. I've been in the mix. I've been on the ground. And it's not even like, and so I used to be subconscious about it as a business owner, entrepreneur, because it's like, I don't want people to think that I'm making a play to promote my business. It's like, I'm not even that guy. Like, I don't even got to be in the mindset like I'm that guy, but I'm not even that guy. I'm this guy. I'm this guy. The guy that wrote this. The guy that lives this. The solution. How Africans in America achieve unity, justice, and repair. Like, I don't even got to act as if I'm somebody that I'm not because other people who don't know me well or don't even care to open their minds to know me want to project a different kind of projection or interpretation of who I am. Like, nah, I'm not like some consumerized businessman. Everybody I told you, I'm all that wrapped in one. But what I believe in is controlling my own destiny and my community controlling its own destiny, and the people of all walks of life controlling their own destiny. Like, I believe in government, I believe in all of that, and, you know, from political views, but I believe in people taking control of their own destiny. I don't believe in waiting for people to save you. You can save your damn self. So if you're somebody that buys into that ideology and you really believe that, and you have anywhere from $500 plus to invest to park into a fund that gives, and to partner with me and our organization to get returns and profits and equity and ownership, and you don't do that, you just fronting. Like, we just talking. There's just no way. There's just no way that we complain about all we complain about, and you get a financial institution, and then it's like, it's not good enough. It's not this enough. It's not that enough. What about this? What about that? Like, stop it. Like, you were just giving money to Red Cross. Like, stop it. You're just donating to random GoFundMes. Like, stop. Like, you're just going to blow money with the same people that are investing in private prisons. Like, you're going to spend thousands with the organizations who are investing in the same lobbyists that are funding the same politicians that are creating the same laws that are oppressing you. And you go buy from their companies. And then get a company of your own, created by your own for your community, and then you start fronting. Like, stop. No. Like, I'm not even like, nah. We should have 10 funds by now. Like, it's not that hard. Like, we just playing. That's all it is. That's my whole thing. And I think it's just more than the fund. It's the whole solution. You shouldn't still be, and that's what I got from the trip too, is like, there's a lot of people that's so, you know, pro-black or whatever you want to call it, woke, but they still run around like this nigga this nigga that, this nigga, da-da-da-da. I heard so much on the trip. I ain't say nothing. I ain't correct nobody. I ain't say nothing. But it's just like, we participate in our own social degradation. It's like, yo, if you don't like your circumstance, do things differently. If you don't like your social circumstance, do something socially different. You don't like your economic social stance, do something economically different. Revert your dollars. You don't like your political circumstance, do something politically different. Unify yourself. It's that simple, bruh. Like, we don't got to stay stuck in the same thing we've been stuck in. Just do different stuff and stop getting in your own way. Stop saying like, yo, I don't like the killing, I don't like the robbing, I don't like the this, the that, but all these niggas this. They acting like niggas. Yeah, these niggas is acting like niggas. But you don't like how niggas act. Well, call them kings. You hear king enough and get treated as a king enough and start getting educated like a king was educated. If you miss social advancement messages with a social curriculum of education, exposure to information, and empowerment, you're going to get a different person. I'm proof, I know. Same thing. You don't like your economic situation. You don't like our lack of, we don't have no political power because we don't control any dollars that control the politicians. So we get an opportunity to unify our dollars to have some clout to be able to say, let's create some money together, some revenue, some power together, and then you front on that. Like, I know people who know me, know we have a fund, who are major celebrities, super pro-black, who we support, who don't even support the fund. But we stand with them. Like, it's you allowing mixed signals and messages and other things that get in the way of what we say it is that we want. And it's just, that's what I stand on. Like, that's who I am. Like, that's who God made at this point. Like, that's what I'm about. And so, that's me back from Africa. See you next week, 8 p.m. Eastern. Tulsa Talk Thursday, every Thursday. Thank you guys for joining, tuning in, being tapped in, tied in. And don't be that person. Don't be the person that knows something the smart thing to do but does otherwise. Like, if you know what's smart for our community, if you know what's smart for you, if you know what's smart for your family, do what's smart. The compound interest of doing multiple smart things over time, man, I'm telling you, operate at the speed of wisdom. I just want different, so I'm doing things different. Trust me, I'm taking more reputational and financial risk being at the head of this, in my opinion, more risk than any investment. Got to perform, which we will do, which we have been doing, and we have some great announcements coming up in January, as well as our end of the 2018 announcements that you guys got through your email. I'll talk about it next time, a little more of the actual deals we just closed. Now our portfolio has 3 real estate assets and 30,000 square foot office space on 2.6 acres of land, 14 units of apartment buildings in Louisiana we now acquired that we also have. You guys can be partners in this. Partners in a 2.6 acres of land of 30,000 square feet office space being developed right now in a Black House, Legacy Center. You can be partners in this 14 acres we just got, and partners in the $500,000 multifamily flip out of New Jersey in a beautiful middle-class area that's just good money for us. We're going to take those. I'm not going to pass that up. Honestly, could have did it on the side privately, but I just wanted to break bread with the fund. Like, that was a deal that I could have took to the house and made a quick $85,000 just to the family. But brought it to the fund. Could have easily did that deal. A deal came through my family. Could have easily did this deal myself privately and built my own family portfolio up. Like, y'all don't know how many times my wife says to me, babe, we need to start focusing on our own real estate portfolio. I'm like, babe, just, we're good. Like, I got a family too. I got a family legacy to build myself. Like, I got assets that I want to acquire myself, but I'm taking some of the best deals and opportunities and bringing them to the fund so we all can break bread together. Like, wake up. We out next Thursday. Peace.